Welcome back, everyone. Today we're diving into the world behind one of the most iconic James Bond films ever made, GoldenEye, 1995. Directed by Martin Campbell, this film not only marked the thrilling debut of Pierce Brosnan as 007, but also redefined Bond for a new generation. From real explosions and breathtaking stunts. But have you ever wondered how these movies' jaw-dropping scenes were actually created? How did the filmmakers make it all look so real, long before CGI took over Hollywood? Let's find out. Okay, so we begin our video with one of the boldest and most unforgettable, the legendary dam jump scene. Right from the start, the sequence instantly set the tone for Pierce Brosnan's debut as James Bond, showcasing the fearless, stylish, and high-stakes energy that defined his era. The scene was shot at the Contra Dam, also known as the Versazka Dam, located in Ticino, Switzerland, standing an incredible 220 meters high. This massive structure became the stage for what would later be hailed as one of the greatest movie stunts ever performed. Now, here's the fascinating part. The jump was completely real, no CGI, no green screen, just raw courage. The stunt wasn't performed by Brosnan himself, but by professional stuntman Wayne Michaels, who risked himself to make Bond's opening moment unforgettable. Using only a bungee cord, Wayne leapt off the top of the dam in a perfectly executed freefall that made audiences' hearts stop. Director Martin Campbell wanted to make sure the very first scene of his Bond era established a new standard, gritty, fearless, and real. That's why he decided this entire jump would be done practically, in a single take if possible. Multiple cameras were carefully positioned around the dam, on cranes, platforms, and even along the wall itself to capture the scale, the speed, and the vertigo of Bond's leap from every angle. As Michael steps off the edge and dives downward, the camera follows him in stunning slow motion, the wind tearing through the silence, the world spinning beneath him. When Wayne finally landed safely, the entire crew erupted into applause. Many called it a once-in-a-lifetime shot, and it later earned a Guinness World Record as the highest bungee jump ever performed in a movie. After the daring jump, the story transitions into a tense sequence inside the Russian facility, where Bond and his partner Alec Trevelyan find themselves surrounded by enemy soldiers. These scenes were filmed on a full-scale replica set of the facility, built at Leavesden Studios in London. Every hallway, control room, and steel door was constructed with meticulous attention to detail to resemble a Soviet military base. For the gunfire and explosions, the crew relied entirely on practical pyrotechnics, not digital effects. Each bullet hit, explosion, and collapsing pipe was pre-timed using squibs, wire rigs, and hidden charges, all synchronized by a team of special effects technicians. Actors Sean Bean and Pierce Brosnan performed most of their close-up shots themselves. And the icy landscape outside the facility wasn't real snow. The art department used artificial snow and fake ice props to create the illusion of a Siberian tundra. And throughout the sequence, the muzzle flashes, bullet impacts, and smoke effects were all practical, captured using real blank cartridges and embedded squibs. Every shot had multiple camera setups, wide shots for the scale, close-ups for intensity, making this sequence a showcase of precision and realism. Now, let's jump to another one of GoldenEye's explosive scenes, the train destruction scene. The scene stands as a brilliant showcase of 1990s filmmaking craftsmanship. Instead of relying on digital effects, the filmmakers used miniatures, practical explosions, and real sets to create the illusion of massive destruction, something that still looks stunningly realistic today. Under the genius supervision of legendary special effects artist Derek Meddings, the team built both miniature and full-scale train models for different types of shots. The smaller models were used for wide, destructive moments, like when the missile strikes the train and it explodes into fiery chaos. These miniatures weren't simple toys, they were incredibly detailed replicas, complete with windows, rivets, and realistic metal textures. For close-up shots where Bond and Natalia are seen escaping just moments before the explosion, a larger hero model was used. The team employed high-speed cameras to film the blast in slow motion, which made the fireballs, smoke, and flying debris look perfectly scaled and cinematic. Real pyrotechnics were detonated around the models, so every flicker of flame and every plume of smoke you see on screen was 100% real. Meanwhile, the interior fight scenes between Bond and Alec Trevelyan were shot on full-size train sets. Built at Pinewood Studios in England, these sets were constructed with meticulous detail, metal corridors, flickering lights, and control panels, giving the actors room to perform intense physical scenes before their daring escape. Once the live-action shots were complete, editors seamlessly composited the miniature explosion footage with the full-scale interior shots, creating a perfectly believable transition from inside to outside. This hybrid of miniature craftsmanship, practical stunts, and smart compositing became a defining trait of GoldenEye's action. Long before CGI dominated Hollywood, filmmakers relied on tangible creativity and mechanical precision to bring Bond's world to life. Even today, this scene stands as a reminder of a golden era, when explosions were real, danger was physical, and movie magic was built with hands, models, and pure imagination. As the story shifts to the icy wilderness of Severnaya, we witness one of GoldenEye's most chilling sequences, the total annihilation of the Russian satellite control base. General Arkady Ourumov and his lethal partner Xenia Onatop arrive in a stealth helicopter, silently descending through the blizzard. The moment they land, chaos begins. Bullets echo through the frozen air as guards and scientists are mercilessly taken down. After the massacre, Ourumov uses 2 security keys to activate the GoldenEye satellite, triggering a devastating EMP blast that wipes out the entire Severnaya facility, communication systems, and fighter jets in one blinding pulse of destruction. But here's what most viewers don't know. This entire sequence was brought to life using practical effects and miniature models, not CGI. The production team built a detailed miniature replica of the entire Severnaya base, complete with icy terrain, snow-covered control buildings, and the massive satellite dish. Instead of real snow, the team used salt and crushed glass, giving the surface a reflective cold shimmer that looked stunning under studio lights. When the GoldenEye blast hits, those fiery explosions and collapsing structures weren't digital creations. They were real detonations, carefully triggered on the miniature set. Fighter jet crash scenes were also filmed using small-scale MiG models suspended on wires and shot with high-speed cameras, creating the illusion of massive destruction. The grand finale of GoldenEye, the brutal showdown between James Bond and Alec Trevelyan, remains one of the most gripping climaxes in the Bond franchise. This sequence takes place atop a gigantic satellite antenna hidden beneath an artificial lake. As the water drains, the colossal metallic dish slowly emerges, gleaming under the tropical sun, revealing the perfect stage for a life-and-death battle between 2 former allies turned enemies. What makes the scene so incredible is the blend of real locations, studio-built sets, and miniature craftsmanship. To shoot this high-altitude fight, the filmmakers recreated partial sections of the antenna structure inside a London studio, surrounding it entirely with green screens. They later composited the dramatic Cuban skyline and the vast dish in post-production. The set was designed to give both actors a real sense of height and danger, allowing their movements and balance to feel authentically tense. Both Pierce Brosnan and Sean Bean underwent rigorous training in wirework, climbing, and hand-to-hand combat choreography. The intention was clear. Director Martin Campbell wanted the fight to feel raw, physical, and deeply personal. During filming, Brosnan performed most of his stunts himself. In one particularly dangerous shot while climbing the ladder above the dish, he injured his hand, forcing production to pause briefly. In one of the film's intense final moments, Bond and Natalia soar over the lush jungles of Cuba in a small aircraft. Suddenly, a missile streaks through the sky and strikes the plane's left wing, erupting into flames. The aircraft shudders, smoke trails behind, and within seconds it spirals down toward the jungle below, crashing in a burst of chaos and fire. To bring this dramatic moment to life, the filmmakers didn't rely on CGI. Instead, they used an intricately built miniature model of the airplane. The small-scale replica was mounted on a mechanical rig system, specially designed to simulate the plane's unstable motion. The rig worked like a tilting platform, allowing the miniature to pitch and roll, mimicking the turbulence and loss of control seen in the final cut. Underneath the wings, the effects team installed tiny pyrotechnic charges and flame gels, carefully timed to ignite during the shot. These real flames created the illusion of the wing being consumed by fire, capturing a raw sense of danger and realism. Few Bond moments scream pure cinematic power, like the legendary tank chase scene through the streets of St. Petersburg. It's one of those sequences that perfectly balances chaos, humor, and unstoppable energy. A moment where James Bond turns a relic of war into a weapon of elegance and destruction. Behind the camera, however, the making of this iconic chase was just as thrilling as what we see on screen. The idea for Bond to commandeer a Soviet tank came from special effects supervisor Chris Corbould, who wanted to give the chase a fresh, unstoppable energy that no car or gadget could match. Director Martin Campbell instantly loved it. The result? A full-scale tank rampaging through the heart of Russia, all done practically with no heavy CGI involved. The sequence was directed by Ian Sharp, who led the film's second unit, responsible for the high-octane action. To make every shot look authentic, the crew used a blend of real St. Petersburg locations and large-scale backlot sets at England's Leavesden Studios, where entire sections of the city were meticulously recreated. This allowed the filmmakers to safely blow up buildings, crash vehicles, and stage destruction without risking real streets. For realism, production acquired authentic Russian T-54 and T-55 tanks, which was also modified for filming. They were fitted with fake armor plating and rubberized treads to protect roads and improve mobility. Veteran stunt drivers, including Gary Powell, operated the massive machines, reaching speeds of up to 35 miles per hour, a jaw-dropping feat for such a heavyweight vehicle. Each tank pass was filmed with 4 to 6 cameras simultaneously, because once the vehicle charged through a set, repeating the shot was nearly impossible. And of course, who could forget that outrageous, hilarious moment when Bond plows straight through a Perrier delivery truck, sending thousands of bottles flying through the air. That scene wasn't CGI, it was 100% practical destruction, filmed live with precisely timed explosions and debris rigs hidden in the truck. Every explosion was real, each vehicle crash carefully rigged by Chris Corbold's team with pyrotechnics, wire poles, and hydraulic rigs to ensure safety and realism. CGI was used sparingly, only for compositing and background enhancements. So when you watch that monstrous tank drift through tight corners, crush cars, or take down statues, remember, it's all real metal, real stunts, and real filmmaking craftsmanship. Another standout sequence in GoldenEye is the intense archives escape, where James Bond, Pierce Brosnan, and Natalia Isabella Skorupko flee from a Russian military building, while an entire army closes in on them. The scene perfectly captures Bond's signature chaos, bullets flying, paper shredding through the air, and explosions tearing through a maze of steel and dust. To bring this mayhem to life, the production team built a massive multi-level archive set inside Pinewood Studios. The set was designed to replicate an authentic Soviet-era records facility, complete with metal balconies, spiral staircases, endless rows of dusty file cabinets, and flickering industrial lamps. Production designer Peter Lamont, known for his impeccable attention to detail, filled the set with vintage props, typewriters, steel shelving, and stacks of classified files, making it feel like a living, breathing government vault frozen in time. When the action erupts, every gunshot, spark, and flying page you see was practically created. Real blank cartridges were fired to achieve genuine muzzle flashes and smoke trails, while small pyrotechnic charges sent papers and debris flying through the air. To keep the cast safe, shelves were built from lightweight foam and soft metal, allowing bullets to pierce them safely during close-quarters combat scenes. In post-production, editors combined footage from multiple camera angles, layering explosions, smoke, and falling debris to create the sense of continuous frantic movement. And that's the making of GoldenEye 1995, a film that revived Bond with a perfect mix of classic espionage, real stunts, and cinematic innovation. From the world record dam jump to the thunderous tank chase, every frame of this movie was crafted with passion, precision, and pure filmmaking grit. If you loved exploring these behind-the-scenes secrets, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Root Studio for more deep dives and the making of legendary films.